Hey, good morning, folks. It looks like I need to do a second part to today's video because I talked about a topic that seems to be getting some feedback and has been polarizing for a lot of folks right now. And I was talking politics, and I was explaining how I'm really not political. I do vote, and I'm passionate about who I vote about and why. I think my problem with politics is really a microcosm of what my problem is with society right now in these days. And here's what I think is my big disdain for what our country is doing and what I'm hoping to get out there and change a little bit. We all want to scream fire when something's on fire. Um, right now, Donald Trump is the president of the United States. Whether you support that or don't support that, that's a simple fact. Nothing that can be done is going to change that. He's not going to be impeached if you feel that way. So, my point is this: if you're angry about it, if you're embarrassed by it, if all of the vitriol that's going on about Donald Trump is so important to you, then look in the mirror and point the thumb at yourself and ask why you didn't do more beforehand when the election was going on. Is a possibility he was going to be elected. I'm not saying you can control it, but did you talk to as many people as possible? Did you try to communicate with them and share your feelings? Likewise, the Trump supporters. Again, supporting Trump, pointing fingers and screaming fire at the past administration. You know, the simple fact is, sitting outside a fire yelling fire does nothing. Um, Folks that are anti-Trump, if you don't like the fact that he's in office right now, stop screaming and yelling about everything that he's doing currently and start working on what you can do to get him removed next election. Okay, it just puzzles me that this is what we do. We want to point the finger, and with social media and everything being under a microscope, there's going to be things said wrong. There's going to be things said right, and all we do is pick and fight and send emails and videos back and forth about the craziness. I'm an American first. Um, I don't support a lot of what Donald Trump stands for. Um, but it's some things, when I've talked to other people, I've seen things in a different light. And that's kind of my point. Um, I could have drawn my line in the sand and said I disagree with this, this, or this, and we would sit there and we would right fight. But when I've talked to some folks, they raise some valid points. And, that's all I'm looking to do is educate myself, and then I can make a more informed decision next time around. And again, if I'm so against this administration or anything in life, it's not even political right now. All we want to do is point the finger and scream louder than the next guy to say what's broke. Um, I just don't get it. What's done is done. He's our president. We're Americans. Support him as best you can as president. And if you don't like what he stands for, then make the effort to get him removed the next time you have an opportunity. It's that simple. I just, maybe it's just me, I don't know. I understand that he's polarizing and he raises people's ire, and there's a lot of things, again, that I disagree with. But, he's elected as our president. I support that. And, you know, all I can do is weigh the candidates the next go round and try to have an impact or a positive impact in that regard. A couple of things that I do wish I would see changed. One of my recollections of this past election, which blows my mind a little bit, is um, there was a debate going on. And it amazes me how people can say just about anything, and the pro people accept it, and the antis, nobody really seems to do research, or no matter how preposterous. The one thing that stood out at me about this past election, I'll never forget, was there was a debate going on, and Donald Trump's quote at the time, remember, he was just a candidate right now, he wasn't the president, was, "I know more about ISIS than our generals. Believe me." And that was it. No follow up question. There's something to be said about that statement right there. Um, I wish I could just say things in life and just say "believe me" and nobody would question me, right? It's just almost laughable. And then conversely, on both sides of the fence, if you don't like something said about you, right, all you gotta do is yell fake news, and we have to sit there and assume it. And there will be people that rally to your side and go, oh, that's not true. No research involved to show whether it's fake or not. But if you don't like what's being said about you, I wish I could do that in my everyday life. I propose something at work, and somebody shoots it down, and I say, well, that's fake. So anyway, those are some thoughts I've got. I wanted to follow up because some people were responding to my posting and asking some questions about my I guess lack of involvement or lack of care, and I wouldn't say it's that at all. Again, I just want to see us affect change. Instead of sitting there screaming right now about anything that you find unjust in the world, whether that's politics, whether that's race relations, whether that's socioeconomic situations, and the Me Too movement, whatever it is, instead of screaming about it and saying it's broke, point the thumb at yourself and take a step to try and fix it. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm trying to do with my journey. And, I just want to follow up with that. All right, guys? So hopefully that brings some clarity to things. To the haters that'll hate me out there, I'll just scream fake news and move on. To the folks that get me and follow me and what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do, I do appreciate it. But like I said, I just want to make bold statements with no backup and no research and have people go, hey, trust him. He said it, so it must be true. But we're in a really difficult time right now as a country and as a society. Social media, which I'm on right now and communicating with you on, I definitely think contributes to it. And I just, again, think it's time to just stop pointing the finger at everything and anything and work proactively, work to make change, work to affect change. The person that screams the loudest doesn't always make the most sense. They're just the loudest. So if it takes me going across the country and shaking hands and one by one, just talking to people, and that's what I'm willing to do. If it takes me asking folks to follow me on here and share their thoughts, good or bad, again, I don't want this to be about me, guys. I'm just doing this right now because I'm not out on the road yet. But I will point the finger right now at my followers and the people that follow me. Jump on the site. We're there to have discussion. We're there to share different points of view. We don't have to get angry. We don't have to troll. We don't have to be, but I have points of view, and I've put myself out there and shared them. Not everybody agrees with them or supports them, but this is my points of view. As I said, politically, in talking to people recently and seeing some emails, there are things I see in a different light now. I don't necessarily agree or disagree, but I respect where they're coming from, and I see things in a different light. So I'm trying to do my best to point the thumb and affect change where I can. I ask you to do the same. Thanks again for listening. Thanks again for following, and I hope to see you out there. Take care, guys.